Humanity and regret will always go hand in hand. Never will there be any person alive who doesn't wish something in their life had gone differently. There's never been a person who hasn't looked back at an interaction and recoiled about how poorly it went, or how they failed to convey their feelings to another, or how they wish they could have known then what they understand now. You will feel regret, disappointment, and even a sense of guilt over these kinds of events. Whether it's because you yourself did something wrong, or because a person you respected let you down, it's only natural to feel negatively about it. But how are you supposed to handle that inevitability? How are we supposed to move on from something like that? Sure, we can do all the thought exercises in the world and try to get around it. We can rationalize it. It's not my fault for not knowing someone's actions that happened out of sight or that were not shared with me. How am I supposed to feel when betrayed by someone I liked, whether they were someone I knew personally or whether they were someone I enjoyed the content of? How are you supposed to feel when someone lets you down in a way that you never imagined possible? We can try to accept it. I may have failed to get through to someone, but there isn't anything I can do now. I can't go back and change how I handled that conversation, no matter how much I wish I could. You can't do much to change someone's perception of you once it exists. You can own your regret, and you can try to abandon it, but neither feel particularly comforting. The options are often ascribed to personality types, much like morality. You know, a type A person needs to be in control of every aspect of their lives and tends to be highly motivated. Meanwhile, a type B person may be more accepting to go with the flow and be less driven. But that's not entirely accurate. People are never as simple as that. The line of thinking that says all problems can be solved with a single question. Can you do anything about it? Yes? Don't worry about it. No? Don't worry about it. May actually bring the most comfort to a person who is more particular about their schedules, while it's petrifying to others who tend to be more lax. Don't worry about it is not an assurance you can give to another person. It's something one can only choose for themselves. And it is an impossibly difficult concept to truly comprehend. What to do with the grief of regret has no one-size-fits-all answer. However, there are ways that you can make it smaller. Time alone does not heal wounds. It simply makes them more distant, and echoes take up more space in your ears the further away they get, even if they sound quieter. But you can take your regrets and use them as fuel. Burn them instead of yourself when you need to feel warm. Let them fuel you, but do not let that fire overtake you or turn your heart into coal. It is not a sin to trust others at whatever value they present to you. It's not shameful to be disliked due to a bad impression that you cannot take back. It's not even evil to be hated by someone simply because you did not click together. Those flinch-inducing regrets and disappointments can be fuel for your future choices, for your future art, and for your soul. Much like eating an elephant, you can only do it with time, small bites, and it's made much easier by sharing with those around you. See, when faced with earth-shattering disappointment, when someone we thought was better than that did something bafflingly bad, when we find out someone is speaking poorly about us because of a bad interaction or a miscommunication, when we let ourselves down by falling into bad habits or even relapsing, it is completely natural to feel that sense of grief and guilt. No matter what the truth is, there will always be that voice inside of your head that says, I should have known better, or I should have thought better, or I should have done better. And that line of thinking quickly becomes a spiral. It can consume your thoughts and make you turn inwards. But that's in part because it's trapped inside of your head. No matter how smart you are, your head is a very small place to be stuck, cramped, confined, restricted among the chemicals that make you breathe when it's not a conscious thought. There is no room for the storm clouds building inside of you to expand or dissipate. That's what makes it so important to not keep these feelings bottled up inside of yourself. You need to release them somehow, be it talking to a friend, family member, therapist, or even in a YouTube comment section. Once it's out, among that infinite sky, it's much easier to see how small the issues and thoughts truly are. Of course, you may be told, yes, that was dumb, or there were so many red flags, but that's a risk you need to take. More than that, it's not even a risk, it is a reality that we need to see. You'd be surprised, though, about how many times those around you can help make it easier, or even show you how to resolve those feelings and problems. You'd be shocked at how soon you'll be able to see that the world is not ending because of that grief. Or to see how those who love you are willing to help hold up the world if it's grown too heavy for you alone. You may have some atonement to do. And some people may never change their mind or return to your life or even forgive you. But there are very few things in life that you can never come back from. Once you work through those things enough with others helping you as a sounding board, you'll be able to keep a piece of that endless sky inside of you. You can make the clouds smaller between rational thought and your own heart. You'll build coping mechanisms to be able to recognize when you actually are in the wrong, when you're obsessing over a nothing burger, and when something deserves a good cry, a deep sigh, and wadding it up like a scrap of paper ready to act as kindling. As with all things, though, this is not a one-size-fits-all answer. You may not know where to begin. You may feel like too much of a burden. You may be scared of what others will think of you. You could be trapped. Not physically, but held in place nevertheless by a muck that you can't get out of. One that you can't even begin to ask for help escaping from. This year has been filled with disappointment. Not for any one person, country, or people. The grief that we've all had to go through is so heavy. I'm not playing Pain Olympics or humoring comparisons of devastation here, because still everyone deals with things differently, and now more than ever we're exposed to the horrors at an accelerated rate. There's no escape from bad news when you're online. The through line is that things are rough, and it can feel like they always will be, like we deserve it. The feeling makes it all the more important to keep the sky in your heart as bright as possible. Of course it'll grow cloudy when you're faced with sadness, a relative or friend's passing, feelings of betrayal by someone you held dear, or even a celebrity, the inability to feel fully seen or heard. Even if the clouds entirely blanket the sky, they'll still eventually pass. The sun will shine again, rain will fall, and you will move on. I can't go into everything that's made me feel weak this year. I've lost people in my life due to drifting apart and due to human mortality. I've lost people from their own choices and the choices their bodies made for them. And it would be a lie to say that I don't feel regret about them daily. Regret that I didn't talk to them more. Regret that I didn't say the right things. Regret that I don't regret excising them from my life. Regret that I'll never see them again. And regret that I will have to see them in the future. There's also regrets that parts of me are gone that I'll never get back or be able to perfectly fill. It's such a disgustingly human feeling, and there are so many days where I wish I could go without it. But humanity and regret go hand in hand, and I will keep living until the universe decides that I've had enough. That's how you can deal with it too, if you want. Disappointment, regret, guilt. You can carry it. Share the load with someone willing and move toward the places where sunbeams stream through the clouds. And on the way, you can let the rain refresh you. But don't let it soak you through to the bone. Now more than ever, whether it's out of love of the game, the smiles on your loved ones' faces, for stories that you want to tell, or even out of spite, just don't die. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be posting some more animations as the year goes on, and I'm going to be talking about my original series, because why not? You know, let's do what makes us happy. Because God knows we need it. Thank you, as always, to my wonderful Patreon supporters. I really appreciate you guys being here for me, and all of the fun comments you leave on my things on the platform. We might be switching off of Patreon very soon because there's some stuff going on that place that I'm not too big of a fan of. So keep an eye out. But at our brother, sibling, sister tier, we have Viri, Miss Mercuriel, Box Kit, and Ash Valentine. At our mommies, daddies, and guardians tier, we have Atac, Kai, and Mary. And at our gods, goddesses, and deities tier, we have gods and punks. I mean it. Thank you for watching. Please be safe. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.